Admiral, we're not going to waste any time. We're going to get right into the Cloud9 versus Tempo Storm matchup. This one is going to be pretty interesting because these teams have had sort of a long, storied, I want to call it a rivalry a little bit, but maybe not so much anymore. But back in the day, it definitely was.
Hearthstone doesn't have quite as many rivalries. The community tends to be more tightly knit, given that the nature of competition for Hearthstone is very often individual-based. You have to have a network of people to play against, and that involves a team. So the thing that's interesting to me here is that Tides of Time is a former Tempo Storm member.
Yeah, that's definitely something to note, but let's jump right into the picks and bans phase. Keep in mind, these 9 class icons represent the 9 unique decks that these players have brought to the tournament. Right now, we're going to see both teams ban 2 decks away from the opposing team, and then they'll exclude 1 from play, leaving them with 6 to play during the match. So first ban's coming in. Shaman is banned away from both sides.
Yeah, not really too surprising to see Shaman banned. It's just such a powerful deck. In the metagame, we've seen G2 have success over and over again, leaving it up, but it's definitely one worth respecting. And then Warrior banned away from Cloud9, and Rogue banned away from Tempo Storm. Cloud9 very much respecting the power of that deck versus the wide range you're forced to play in Trinity Series.
And exclusion, oh my goodness, Paladin excluded from Tempo Storm.
Wow.
And Hunter is left up. We're going to see the second Rexar of the tournament. Cloud9 was actually the first team to play Hunter a few weeks back in week number 2, I believe. And now it's going to be Tempo Storm in week number 4 playing the second Hunter. And an exclusion of Paladin is actually wouldn't be the deck that I would think would be excluded over any of the other ones.
Well, something to really keep in mind here is that last week, Cloud9 was trying to target an open with anything Paladin. If that strategy is trying to carry over this week, that is just completely off the table. Something else to look at is that Tempo Storm has typically been a team of brewers. Reynad loves to experiment with builds and find the next powerful strategy. Gara loves to experiment. VLPS loves to experiment. Just Saying is typically a player who plays decks that are not the best decks in the meta. They're decks that are meant to beat those. Having Hunter in this build, I can't wait to see what this is. Yeah,
and there you can see Cloud9, Firebat, Strifecrow, and Tides of Time as the 3 players. Last week, it was just Firebat and Strifecrow. Tides of Time wasn't able to make it. But he's joined them this week, and even though these are the decks that these players will be piloting, again, working together as a team and communicating. And then taking a look over at the side of Tempo Storm, VLPS, Gara, and Just Saying. Gara is going to be the player piloting that Hunter deck. Well, I mean, I'm curious to see what this build is. If it's going to be a more aggressive Hunter, if it's going to be more of a mid-range Hunter, maybe a Reno Hunter. Admirable.
I'm guessing this is a deck that's specifically targeted at a certain strategy. Hunter typically tends to be a control killer right now and does not fare well versus aggressive builds. So I'm guessing they're looking to step away from that and keep it more in line. With this match, Cloud9 probably had one of the most interesting ways of having their team play last week, where they said that they focus better when they can just think. It's hard for them to articulate those thoughts and play the game at the same time. Their discussion was only there when the turns were very fascinating. If the turns had any sort of standard play setup, they were just trusting the pilot.
Yeah. And
it worked for them, too. That was their first win last week.
It definitely worked for them. I really liked how they approached it last week. Even though it was a little bit different than other teams, it definitely worked for how their team's playstyle is, how their individual players' playstyle is. And one thing I want to note about this matchup in particular is these teams have a lot of reason to take risks. All those 1 and 2 teams have a lot of reasons to take risks, because they need to do something to separate themselves from the rest of that pack that's floating at the bottom here. We talked about the last match; those teams were both 2 and 1. They didn't really have reason to take risks. They wanted to, play a straightforward match and use what they have proven to be superior teamwork and skills to overcome. So I'm actually not surprised that one of these teams, Tempo Storm being with the Hunter, at least as far as we know now, has decided to innovate with their deck choices. And so we're going to move into game number 1 here, Cloud9 versus Tempo Storm. Strifecrow piloting the Dragon Priest, and Just Saying piloting the Jade Druid.
Yep. I personally believe this matchup is Jade favored. I think that the scaling potential from this build is very real. And when in the hands of an excellent pilot, they understand the nuances of that middle stage and how hard you need to fight for board in order to keep things from getting out of control. Druid does not fight well from behind, and Cloud9's major power spike starts around the turn 3, turn 4 range, depending on how the coin is used. They're looking to just play very health-efficient minions and use those to rumble with. So if Cloud9 can manage to have some pretty steep turn 4, turn 5, that could spell a lot of trouble for Tempo Storm. But otherwise, Tempo Storm's scaling will get the job done.
We'll have to see. Dragon Priest can get off to some pretty explosive starts. I wouldn't call this one explosive, but it's definitely pretty good. They have 1 drop, they have coin, they have 3 drop.
Yeah.
But Tempo Storm's got ramp, they got card draw.
It's pretty close to a dream hand for Tempo Storm, honestly. Against Priest, the only thing that they're looking for is to hit their curve as quickly as possible. That's why the Druid decks struggle with aggressive builds, is because their early turns are spent investing into their future turns rather than investing into the board. So early starts like this Twilight Whelp can end up dealing a lot of damage if Tempo Storm doesn't have the ramp here.
All right. Let's see if they can get that ramp going in time before Cloud9 overtakes the board. And Tempo Storm has struggled in the past few weeks with communication, just a little bit. And we'll see if they can clean that up. But we're going to listen into Cloud9 this week now that they have their full roster back.
I believe I'm going to play that.
Their plays are Jade Blossom, Swipe, Wrath, Jade Spirit.
I think I'm going to save my coin here and not drop the Cleric.
Must consider.
Because it opens myself for more options.
I dig it.
Yeah.
Are you mocking me?
The Cleric might prevent him from playing stuff. Just something to think about.
Oh man, they can still play this. I'm going to play the Cleric and punish them anyways. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if they were to play something, I can still play the Cleric. Uh-oh.
Well, that punishes the Cleric. No.
What do you mean? Like, not playing the Cleric?
Yeah, because we get killed it. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. That would probably been good. I don't know. It's pretty expensive to trade everything for it, but
Yeah,
probably better than leaving a Fandral.
We're saving coin for Corruptor.
Yeah.
My work is paramount. Leave fellow.
Right. I don't think you.
Yeah, this indication is. I mean, they didn't have the Blackwing tech last week, so.
Nourish?
Yeah. Yep.
Never a consideration for anything else, right?
No.
So much value.
We got Drake Swipe coming up too. Nice. We have the Drake Swipe clear coming up on 9. Oh baby. You ever
nice,
go off? Yeah, just do it.
Just do it. It's bad to
Are you
draw,
serious?
but I think you wait. Well, let's think about it. We have a lot of Jades already in our hand.
I mean, next turn we can
And we have
go.
Auctioneer as well. You do it, right? You have Auctioneer as well.
This is like something.
It's close, dude. It's close.
I'm not really sure. It sets up
It's
swipe
actually
better
close.
if we really need to go swipe.
Like, we don't
next
have to
turn.
gadget next turn. We have Behemoth next turn if we need it into this Drake Swipe on 9. Kind of like playing both now, and then Behemoth next turn summoning a 4/4 or 3/3 rather.
Yeah, it's really not bad, man.
Drake Swipe on
Because we have
9.
Auctioneer. We have a lot of draw. We have the Azure Drake as well. We have a lot of value already. I think you can.
Yeah, I like it.
Such a good board.
What do you
I
think?
mean,
Do you think we do any trades or not?
No. No, let them trade. Our health is more
Yeah,
valuable, I think,
pass.
at this point.
Usually, people advise against shuffling Jades into your deck early on because it dilutes your draws and it makes it so you're less likely to draw removal spells or healing or card draw. But Tempo Storm, they were arguing, we have enough plays. We have Jade Behemoth into Drake Swipe. We have Auctioneer, so if we do start drawing Jade Idols, then we can keep cycling more and more. We have the card draw. We have the minions necessary. I kind of like this.
It's important for them to slow down and talk about that stuff too.
Yeah.
We've heard them have some clashing moments in the previous weeks, and it sounds to me like that's already out the window. That this team has really got themselves in a great emotional state for this match where they can communicate freely and not offend each other. That's very important to be able to say whatever's on your mind, no matter how obscure the plan might be. Listen to Cloud9, for instance. Tides of time back in the discussion, he's just simply mentioning all the possibilities from their opponent. And I'm guessing that helps Strife Crow hurry his thought process along.
I think the way the standings played out played in Tempo Storm's favor because, you know, after last week or, you know, after the last couple weeks, they were probably thinking that they were going to go far down in the standings. But now, pretty much everybody's tied. So at the end of this week, it's still going to be very close towards the bottom, you know, 2/3 of the standings. So I think that definitely, you know, played into their favor, at least from a morale's point of view.
Yep. A lot of value trades for Cloud9 here, but Tempo Storm able to simply get Jade Behemoth on board to start fighting back and looking towards that Azure Drake swipe. 5 damage to the initial target and 2 to the rest. Very critical combo for Druid to get back on board.
Yeah, and Drake swipe, it has to be on the back of Cloud9's mind here. I feel, you know, the only thing that they really get punished by is Drake swipe if they go wide on a board. So that you're probably going to see them make some trades here and you know, craft their plays to play the best around the possibility of that. I would hope so at this stage.
Yeah, value's got to be on their mind too. You know, they're operating on 5 mana. Tempo Storm's going to be operating on 9 mana.
That's 4. That's huge. That's ridiculous.
It's really hard to get ahead when that's happening. So for Cloud9, I think that their thought process needs to be in line with how do we keep from losing too much this game. We have some situational card draw left. It's a lot to invest in Azure Drake. Northshire Cleric requires the right board position. So if they get too heavily pushed by Tempo Storm here, they may just fall behind themselves.
Yeah, this is going to be tough. I suppose this is the best they can do to play around that Drake swipe, but let's go ahead and listen into Tempo Storm as they play to this next turn.
Normal dragon, but
I think it's Drake swipe.
Yeah.
Drake swipe's just insane. We just take
Yeah,
board.
basically
There's no
is,
answer to
yeah.
the 4/4 body. We stop his cycle mechanic. Yeah.
Swipe Cleric, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it should be good enough.
like how does he kill it?
He has to have second corruptor.
And even then he has to corrupt or trade, and then we can just go off with Gadget. Should be a win from here.
I think Guardian heal, but I'm also thinking to trade, like to get it down to 4/1, because we have to kill Azure Drake before going face eventually.
Consider.
Unless we top that Holy Nova, there's no like source of small damage. Yeah, I guess.
I'd go face, but
It just takes. I don't really see the reason to go face or hurting it down.
he's making the trade for us.
No, he doesn't trade for 1 turn. It takes 2 turns from the trade. Like, he can't possibly trade for us because there's nothing he can do to kill his own Drake. We have 2/3 attack minions. Like even if he takes the trade, it doesn't die. You know.
Deal 2 first.
Now we can't.
Deal 2 on this one because we wanna make the trade with Drake
Yep.
for sure, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Nice. Yeah, idle.
always Bill.
Idle into. Ooh, baby.
Nice.
Living Roots. We don't play.
Oh,
the
yeah,
idol,
yeah,
we
Living
play
But
the-
let's think about it for. Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
I think it's
we
fine.
play around.
Yeah, there's just no answer to it. If he has to freaking. He has to Dragonfire Potion the Gadget, it's like.
I still want to think about it. We
He
have
never
70
Dragon
seconds.
Fires. He has to. They have to wait for value, which is why we play like Aya next turn and protect our board and just play
But
like
you have
awesome Aya.
70 seconds.
Idol.
I don't see the reason why you should just use 30 seconds per turn.
It's
Yeah.
Interesting that even Tempo Storm being ahead, they're still discussing, maybe even arguing over, I don't want to call it semantics, but
It's 2 paths to 100% is what
Yeah.
it is. I mean, their hand is incredible, and they have an uncontested Gadget Saint Auctioneer, and there's about 33 more Jade Idols in the deck, it feels like. At this point, those are 1 mana 4/4s and 5/5s that draw cards.
yeah, but even just Gara mentioning that they should not only just take 30 seconds per turn, that's, you know, in the grand scheme of things,
He's right.
yeah, but just saying also called that this game was over by like turn 5.
And it is.
Yeah.
But
100%. Yeah, that's a pretty big board.
Yeah, that's game.
Yeah. Cloud9 can try and like stay alive a few turns, maybe to see a few more cards if they like double Shadow or Death.
Well, it's interesting to hear StrifeCro talk about the combat math and how it panned out where they needed to attack. StrifeCro very much a game theory guy. He loves to just min-max and go from there. This one's done like dinner. It's going through the motions, but StrifeCro always looking for the right way to do things.
Yeah. And I think Tempo Storm here going to try and not reveal too much about their hand.
Yeah, I'd say
or about
Feral
their
Rage
deck.
could probably just stick in the grip at this point. They're free to do this however they want. They can trade, they can face, they can do nothing.
This sets up for like lethal 2 times over.
It's a pretty reasonable board if you think about it.
Yeah. Cloud9 taps out.
Just a 6/6, a 7/7, an 8/8, a 9/9, and a 10/10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sets up lethal.
Priest is not good at dealing with that.
Nicely done. But J-Jude's had a lot of success today in the Trinity Series over the course of multiple matchups, even winning some unfavorable matchups early on in the series between G2 and Luminosity. So definitely on the up and up. But that we've seen that variance causes that from time to time. We even saw last week, Rito Mage went against a bunch of unfavorable matchups and took it. So it happens. But we'll see if Tempo Storm can continue going on that Druid. They'll be playing that again next game, and it'll be up to Cloud9 to find the deck that's going to be able to beat it.
I don't want Tempo Storm to lose games, but I really want to see this Hunter build.
No, I want Tempo Storm to lose games because I want to see that Hunter build. I'm willing to.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why.
Okay.
That's the reason I want to see them lose a game. I just want to see the Hunter build. I just want to see good games.
What if they 6-0 sweep? What if they didn't have a Hunter deck even prepared?
We knew Jade Druid was going the whole way.
Yeah, we just forfeit if we got to the point where we had to play Hunter. We just wanted everybody to like us. GG. No, they have to have a Hunter.
You guys are gonna like Hunter until it gets that sick buff. Wait till Flame Wreath Beastless gets printed.
It's just a 4-mana 7/7, but
it's beast.
It's a beast.
Yeah.
That's it. That's its downside.
Yeah. Its death rattle is it deadly shots 3 of your opponent's minions.
Wait, that's really good.
No, that's not a real card.
Okay.
That would never happen. That would be insane.
Yeah. But we'll see what Cloud9 decides to go with. What's the best deck to go up against Jade Druid? Probably a fast deck of sorts.
The thing about it is this is where the tough spots really begin, is if your opponent picks off an early win with Jade Druid, you have to open yourself up. Your options are very limited. You cannot send unfavorable matchups in this early when they have different purposes. And so they're really forced, I think, into trying to muscle around this Druid with early game pressure. If they can race it down, that's great for them. That's the win they need. But then that opens them right back up to get countered. So the game 1 win with Druid, I think, is actually a really clever strategy we're seeing this week, where if you manage to pick it off, your opponent's in a tough spot. You get the one who's countering going into game 3 at that point.
Yeah.
You're leading the pace.
Yeah, but we're going to get into the game in just a moment as Cloud9 has chosen a deck to go up against this one. Again, big game, big match for both of these teams. Cloud9 was sort of on the upswing after last week. Tempo Storm was sort of on the downswing after last week. So with both teams at 1 and 2, this is definitely going to be a match for these teams to try and separate themselves from the rest of that pack that's all at 1 and 2 records so far. And it's Rogue for Cloud9. So throwing out the Rogue early on, I spy with my little eye little baby Shiv.
Yeah, the Shiv is really interesting. I don't know what that means for the build. Once upon a time, having that 1 damage draw card utility spell meant that you had Malagos in your deck. You needed just simply a spell that you could cycle in a pinch, and that could deliver burst damage with Malagos. In this build, it may just signify that they want to dig. Have your great early starts, and then look for the big auctioneer turns.
Yeah, that could definitely be a possibility. Nothing else indicates, actually with Leroy, it indicates that it's not a Malagos build the majority of the time. So, I guess it's just another cycle card, maybe in place of a Phantom Knives.
Yeah, the opening here for Tempo Storm is really important as well. I imagine Firebat's going to end up playing Small Time Buccaneer here anyway, but the consideration at that point becomes you need to trade patches in. If you don't trade in the patches, you're giving Tempo Storm the hero power to take out Small Time Buccaneer. So the alternative play is simply to wait and then have it out after you've daggered down this 1/1.
So many.
That makes things a bit awkward, though. I imagine it's Small Time Buccaneer.
Coin Dagger. Next turn, Small Time Buccaneer, Cold Blood the Patches.
That's a really good point that you bring up, too. The Cold Blood really does change the context to this. I think that's the kicker. They deal 5, and Tempo Storm has to hero power it. You just dealt 8 damage with Cold Blood and 2 damage with Patches.
Yeah. Big thing there, I think, is you give them a free turn to Wild Growth, should they have it. Whereas this turn, if they Wild Growth, you know, they're taking 4.
Yeah.
3 at the very least. Look at that hand.
Jade Spirit's a really nice pickup after you have that Jade Idol. Jade Idol, so important to the build to get these scaling so they don't die to the hero power from Cloud9.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jade Spirit, if they can pick up something to do on 5, then Jade Behemoth into Jade Behemoth is...
Yeah, even Innervate, I
pretty
think would be
dang good.
Them.
Yeah, Innervate would be great.
Yeah.
Still roll Jade Behemoth into Jade Behemoth just a turn earlier.
Saiyan is pained over this Wild Growth. He's like, that Buccaneer's going to deal so much damage. Let's listen to Cloud9 as they face off turn 2 Wild Growth.
Yeah, they have a Wrath in their hand.
That draw allows us to play more like normal, right? It's good.
Oh yeah, I was only considering the Queen Cold Blood because her hand was Leroy Sapp, you know.
Yeah, exactly. We get like rewarded for this play now.
Yep, I like this one.
Well, if they hit here, it just means they don't have coin 4 drop, right? With
Yeah, so we can nourish safely next turn.
Possibly. I don't want to say that's guaranteed. They might have an aggressive plan with like questing, and they just want to go like questing coin conceal or something like that.
Yeah.
The dagger hit looks like an aggressive hand, right?
But yeah, the dagger poke means they either have damage or they don't have coin 4, or they have coin 4 but nothing else in their hand fits a mana curve. So just keep track of all those possibilities for me, guys. Keep track of questing and keep track of possible damage. Okay.
Yep.
Damage.
I like every bit of information I could possibly get about everything.
Careful what you wish for. Your brain will
So life
explode.
actions are counter. Throw up every turn, no matter what.
We want to play Ezra Drake next turn, so we want to clear.
You want to attack
rope them?
The 2/2, right? With your dagger, so you can attack over 2. I would do that personally for sure.
Do you want to fatigue them in real life by roping them every turn?
No. BM.
That is BM.
Love the leading from Just Saying in this match.
Yeah.
Keep track of these possibilities and how much damage that will deal, guys.
Please, thank you.
That takes a lot of pressure off of Just Saying to have to calculate all that himself. Lets him focus on hand reading. Now, that being said, the reads have been off in the early stages here.
They called different possibilities. You know, he said, well, they have quest and conceal and they're just waiting, or they have an aggressive hand. You know, in reference to the turn 2 hit with the dagger. They either have an aggressive hand and they want to squeeze in damage, or they have Gadgetzan Coin Conceal and trying to move that. They do have Gadgetzan Coin, but, you know, the part about them wanting to conceal it is basically just Cloud9 has minions instead that makes their hand clunky.
Firebet, though, called the Wrath early on because of the hesitation on Wild Growth. It really illustrates the importance of taking your time in those situations. If he had simply cold-blooded the small-time Buccaneer, maybe Temple Storm would be at 15 right now.
There's the conceal.
I mean, they have to play Adstrict, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's getting weird at this point now because Tempo Storm is starting to scale. And once it starts to get to that point, Cloud9, you know, it's up to them to actually close the game.
I mean, we talked about this matchup earlier, and we said it's heavily rogue favored. Most people would agree that it's pretty heavily rogue favored. But Tempo Storm, you know, we saw it earlier in the match G2 versus Luminosity. When you get Jade Idol into Wild Growth, into either Jade Blossom or Jade Spirit, and innovate something big, you're going to win a lot of the time against most decks. But Let's go and listen to Temple Storm and hear their thoughts behind it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not over yet, but yeah, Shia.
PogChamp.
Yeah.
Nicer saying, nicer. I mean, if they go, they don't have the coin anymore, so they cannot go auction up Zap.
Garrett,
Yeah.
stop saying nice.
Nicer.
Okay.
They can go
It's not
counterfeit
prep,
coin. They can go counterfeit coin auctioneer prep Zap, but it's not. I mean, it's Miracle Rogue.
Thank you.
To just throw this. Oh my god, we just threw this.
Trade first, right?
So what I like is just play Behemoth and don't trade.
Really? Okay.
yes.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
It's more beneficial for them if the pillage.
I do not want to give them a coin, basically.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
true. I like it. I think the only way we lose right now is also like a big concealed turn where we haven't put them on lethal. Like now we have lethal on board.
You could CB a Vis Zap if you want.
Is there a right to just go sap Abyss? Trade into Pillager plus your weapon for Behemoth. Maybe sap Aya and one of the golems.
Choose soon.
Alright.
So many options.
I think that's the best play. I don't see anything better. I don't know about the second sap.
Oh, I would have Cold Blooded.
Cool Blood the Tomb Pillager?
Yeah. That way you don't have to.
Save your dagger.
Yeah. But
So Cloud9 really put to a test here. There's one opportunity, I think, for them to win this game. If they sapped on the Jade Behemoth, the 3/6 taunt, and Cold Blood, the Tomb Pillager, they push for 9, Tempo Storm falls to 17, and they conceal the Tomb Pillager. Afterwards, Tempo Storm reloads the Tomb Pillager, hero powers up to 18. At that point, Cloud9 saps the taunt again, and they have Leroy to go for face. The problem with that is they don't have the mana for Eviscerate, so they were playing to a prep out if that was the case. And they also died to 4 damage there. So that possibility, very thin. They decided to go with a much more defensive play and hope that an auctioneer could get the job done. So that's what we're looking at right now. That was a really tough turn.
Yeah, we'll see. They're going to cycle a lot with this auctioneer. It's going to be concealed going into the next turn. But the question is, how much is Tempo Storm going to be able to reload? Because now there's no sap for Cloud9. So everything that's on that board is going to stick. And if Cloud9 wants to win this, pretty much all the damage that they have for the rest of their deck is going to have to be going to the face.
Yeah, and Firebet just...
Oh, hello, all of the cards ever.
I'm curious what the prep's actually going for. In this, I mean, he just wants to get the job done here by cycling a lot. Finds another coin, finds another prep.
Here we go.
There can't be an Edwin off of this, though. There's an Eviscerate.
I don't really know what the... I mean, they're dead to 3 damage, I guess, if they don't clear this
Right.
the 5/3.
If they played around the 4 damage previously, they have to play around the extra damage now.
Yeah. So I guess this is Tempo Storm's plan to go all in. They've seen a Cold Blood. They've seen double Eviscerate. So the maximum damage that Cloud9 could do is well below the rest of their health, I feel. They have to have minions stick for multiple turns. Like, they have to go with the big Edwin and then set up a 2-turn lethal if that's the case.
They're out of Eviscerates and they're out of Saps.
Yeah.
I think that's checkmate.
Yeah. Leroy Cold Blood would be 10-18. Still wouldn't be enough. And they'd have to get to the Jade Behemoth. So... should be game for Tempo Storm.
It's a very rare sight to see.
In an unfavorable matchup. Yeah, I don't know. This is bad news bears for Cloud9.
Yes.
They're not on Cloud9 right now.
Just like how Chicago Bears are bad news for their city in football. And quarterbacks who join their team. Hashtag shots fired.
Sports ball!
Slam dunk the football into the golf hole.
Yeah!
Extra safe. I like it. How can they kill us? I don't know. Gain an extra life. Maybe they can't.
Yeah, who cares? We win next turn regardless. All right, and Cold Blood Sean.
Swashbuckler into Mulch? 12?
Nope, not enough.
So say they...
Swashbuckler into Mulch into...
Well, say it's... So Leroy would be 14 plus the 4. That's 18. Yeah, no, it's not happening. Can they stay alive?
No. Can they concede? Yeah. You can.
Swashbuckler into Feral Rage? Gain 8?
Yeah, Swashbuckler outs are about it.
Ooh. Well. That's going to be Conceal.
That's a bummer because they wanted to hit Swashbuckler and then be able to prep the spell.
Yeah. So they needed to hit Swashbuckler right there if they were going to win.
Yeah.
Not in the cards today.
Yeah. That about says it. Let's let it rope out. Temple Storm gets the lethal hit. And Temple Storm now up 2-0, winning an unfavorable matchup in Druid versus Rogue. They got to be in the driver's seat now.
Druid has just been crushing at the start of series today. The first 5 game wins of a series before each team had a win has now been won by Druid. G2 led with 3 wins. Temple Storm's now led with 2. What is going on today, TJ?
Druid is really good when you take out aggro matchups.
It's volatile as well.
I mean, you can also see like some of the players that have submitted deck lists for upcoming playoffs, the European players, in a conquest with a ban system that have been, targeting, those aggressive decks and banning them away. Have been playing Druid, and if they can play Druid in that environment, in this environment when they can ban out 2 decks, 2 aggressive decks, and go in an unfavorable matchup and beat one of them, whew.
Yeah, last year's standings a different beast in Conquest, that's for sure, but Cloud9, their backs are now firmly against the wall. The remaining matchups are not high quality versus Druid. They're not bad, but they're not good. And at this point, they have lost their best matchup versus it.
Yeah, Mage, if it's a Reno Mage, poor matchup. Paladin is actually a decent matchup, but then you don't have, if you lose, you don't have Paladin left remaining for the potential Reno lock. But I guess they have Reno Mage, so I guess I'll lean towards the Paladin here as far as counters go.
I don't know, maybe just take the Druid Mirror.
I mean, Paladin, I would say, as far as matchups go, slightly favored. But it all depends on, a lot of it depends on actually what type of Paladin it is as well.
What type of Druid it is as well.
We've seen Cloud9 go with the cycle version of Paladin.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is pretty good because you can play a little bit more aggressive. You can cut down the amount of time that you're giving the Druid as far as the game plan goes. And, usually you're cutting big stuff, which really limits how good Mulch becomes in that matchup because you're heavily cycling and you're playing Murlocs and small stuff instead of, trying to get that card draw or limited amount of card draw and play more bigger stuff. So it depends on a lot of things. But if I had to guess, I'd say Paladin. I think the Druid Mirror matchup's a very bold call, but when you're down in the series, sometimes you have to take risks, and that might be the risk that they need to take.
Druid also might just be their worst remaining deck. If that's the case, picking up a win in a situation where it's more close to even than trying to force yourself into bad spots later down the road with Druid may be the right call. I think something that's really interesting to talk about for Cloud9, though, is the 3 styles of the players being so very different. Firebet very much a combo style player where he loves to deliver big burst damage turns. StrifeCro loves to play the long grindy games where it's a constant battle for the board. Tides of Time loves to brew up new builds and surprise you with things that you didn't expect. I mean, these could be any of a number of archetypes in these remaining decks. I mean, and even Paladin, I think, is pretty locked. Finge is nuts in that build. But for the Druid, there are many different kinds of Druids that are viable right now. In terms of a 6-deck last year standing format, not on ladder. On ladder, you just don't do it. That's
ladder. There's a very limited amount, approximately 0. But the teams were deciding on decks. But I think we do have a choice here. It is the Druid Mirror. So they think that either that's their worst remaining deck or that this is their best matchup remaining. is a mirror matchup.
It could also be the confidence in their ability to navigate. Strife Crow, very much one of the best players in the world when it comes to simply battling for board. When there's not a lot of blowout potential, and that's a Druid of the Claw in the build as well. When there's not a lot of blowout potential, that's where Strife Crow is at his best, when he can just look at the best way to sequence and keep the pressure high. He's one of the first guys that I've seen who is very willing to build board tension, and that strategy doesn't work well when there's lots of burst damage available.
Board tension!
Why do you guys mock me for that? It's just what it is.
I'm not mocking. I love it.
Just because it's a loving mock doesn't mean it's not a mock, TJ. We'll talk about this later.
Fine.
Druid of the Claw is interesting.
It's very interesting. I've actually seen a few people play it, but I don't know what it's meant to beat.
I think it's just better than Ancient of War.
It comes out quicker, but there's also a lot more things contesting the 5 spot.
It's better against Priest. Yeah, but how often do you just have 7 mana? Like, it's hard to have 7 mana.
Yeah, usually on turn 7 and every turn after that.
Sure, but you can't play Azure Drake and Druid of the Claw in the same turn unless you have an Innervate. Can't play Mulch and Druid of the Claw in turn 8. I'm sorry, you can't play Mulch and Ancient of War in turn 8 without Innervate. Innervate's the kicker to every single play.
Yeah.
Druid of the Claw also doesn't die to Shadow or Death, and it's not nearly as bad versus Sylvanas. Ancient of War
That's actually really true.
is really bad versus Sylvanas.
And also probably has more flexibility in Reno matchups because you have the flexibility of charging it. Yeah.
Yep. I like the Druid of the Claw. I think it's one of the best Druid cards that they have.
Amen to that, brother.
Thanks, Hulk. It is very Hulk Hogan-like, too. It's just like Jade Druid's just a big leg drop as the special. It's not anything spectacular. Just using momentum body weight.
Yeah. Pirate Warrior's a chair.
Steel chair. Let's listen to Tempo Storm as their turns are finally getting underway.
The one way for them to come back is innovate out on IR. Then I think it's still winnable for them. I think they were running double auctioneers if I'm not mistaken. I'm not 100% sure on that.
All right.
Awesome, right? Yeah.
And we traded 2-2 into 2-2 in Go Face. We never traded.
I go space.
Yeah, I go space, trade the 2-2 into.
Yeah.
Yep, I like it.
For sure.
Proactive plays too strong.
Could either double Wrath trade or Druid of the Claw? Or no?
What to do?
That's like Druid of the Claw better.
Yeah, I do. I like it better too. I'm gonna charge the 2/3.
What to do?
I don't want to break up Aya on it. It's just guaranteed. Like there's no downside of it. You can always trade an Aya and the 2/3 anyways.
Time waits for no one.
I like Taunt better, but can do whatever you think is best.
Where shall I strike?
Not quite the intent of Druid of the Claw there, but I see where Strife Crow's coming from. It's hard to offset this, get development, and punish it.
Jadetize me, Captain.
I literally don't know what you just said.
Me neither, Admirable. Me neither.
Tempo Storm, though, right plan is in mind. The way that they come back from the old early Aya is to have their own early Aya. That's a tough one to deal with. When your Jades outscale your opponent's Jades, it means all of yours trade favorably, and as a result, you get damage.
Yeah.
Nice push here, too. The damage, very relevant.
Yeah, 18 health Cloud9's already at. A turn away from Ancient of War. They do have some Spot Removal here, and they pick up an Innervade. So that might let them fight back on board. But again, you mentioned the Jades. That's the big thing. Cloud9 doesn't even have a single Jade card to follow up. So
Ancient War is going to have to lift some very heavy weight, but that's going to be tough.
yeah, and as we learned earlier, it's
Dropping
easier to
weight.
live. Dropping weights is real tough. Thanks, Frozen.
If you have your own Frozenisms, tweet at us. Use the hashtag Trinity Series. I love Frozenisms. They're the best. Ancient War. I'll tell you what. If there's no utility in Tempo Storm's hand, this is fine. That soaks up a lot of the board.
But there's some utility.
And potentially some devastating utility. Let's listen to Tempo Storm as Raven Idol gets underway.
Yeah, I don't even know. if we
Mulch,
would-
man. Don't give them
Yeah, I mean, mulch.
Savage.
Oh.
Roll.
Wait, is this
Is it enough?
lethal?
No, this is not
7
lethal.
plus. We can
Um,
push.
It's a lot of damage though.
we could do souls. Is like not bad.
I mean, we can push 11 damage to face and get through the taunt, and we'd have a 4/4, a 3/3, and a 5/5 on board.
We push 9
I like
damage.
the
what do you
roar.
say?
We have swipe
wait.
follow-up as well.
No, Roy's sick, man. We push 9 damage. He's down to
No, we push
9.
11
Yeah,
damage.
yeah,
Push
yeah.
11.
That's Roar, right? Roar and Hero Power.
That's roar. It's roar.
Yeah, Roar hero power.
Roar hero power. Put him down to 7 HP.
And we have still the board, man. Next
And we
time we
have a
have
swipe
swipe
follow-up.
Jade. Too good. They just use the war, man. What can they do?
I just
Okay, they could
for
go-
Roar. It's like pretty good.
Alright, if they go Azure Drake, swipe. Within a second.
It's not impossible to get Azuric Innervate Swipe, huh? I could draw Azuric Innervate Wrath. Or, let's see, Mulch.
What to do?
Wrath for...
It's either Azure Drake, Hope for Innervate, second Innervate, that's a 1 in 20, or Mulch Wrath.
What, did I kill everything with Mulch Wrath?
Kill the board with Mulch Wrath.
The Wrath for 3 both times, right?
Yeah.
I do think that Mulch Wrath is probably better, I guess.
So you have to hope he has no follow-up and gets a garbage creature, and they top deck another taunt. Oh no. It's a long shot, but it's what we're hoping for.
That will be 8 damage from hand, right?
Yeah.
7 damage from hand.
I mean, we just played the 2/2 drop, the 2/4 drops. Sorry.
Yeah, just play both 4.
What? You get...
Don't have enough mana for lethal.
Yeah.
What were you
But we
talking?
have
You wanted
to
to
nourish.
hero power? No, it's just not. No, you never nourish on the Druid Mirror. Whoever nourishes first tends to lose if they're even on board. So.
It's too strong, 6/6.
Yeah, just zoo it up.
Zoo it up.
I can see.
All right.
Well, we nutshrew with the Jade 3 times in a row, and Druid's doing pretty
Yeah,
well
to
for
be
us.
fair, like our druid's been disgusting.
Didn't I say that? That was our strategy. Let's get 3 wins. it's
So it's either the
I mean, that's a pretty solid strategy, if you ask me. It's worked for 2 teams today now.
Just get 3 wins.
Yeah, I think Jade Druid, in just the 2 matches that we've seen today alone, mind you, we're only halfway through the second one, if that. Druid has already taken 7 wins today, I think.
That's insane.
That's nuts.
2 losses, or 3 losses now, 7 wins. And one of the losses has been to the mirror match.
Yeah, that doesn't count. Doesn't count. And Temple Storm still has a Hunter in their arsenal. They can't lose from this position.
I want to see the Hunter.
Yeah, the 1 week that we want to see Hunter, the team's just going to 6-0 a Druid. Jesus.
Jeez.
But Cloud9 back to the drawing board again for them. Now they have Mage, Warlock, and Paladin left. You heard VLPS sort of mention it at the end of their little listen-in towards the end of that game. He was thinking Paladin was going to be the choice. Maybe Cloud9 didn't use the Paladin because they wanted to save it later on. They have a different Paladin deck, perhaps.
I think Jade was the cue. I think it was the weakest of their decks left. I think it's a reasonable matchup in the mirror match. Obviously, it tends to come down to fighting for board position. Cloud9 didn't have the tools for that one as they faced an early eye-up. Pretty straightforward.
One thing's for certain. That's admirable. Tempo Storm's in a great spot.
Yeah, three up with Druid is massive.
And Cloud9 right now is probably on
weakest decks. It's one of their weakest decks.
They're probably on like Cloud 2.
Well, just got to get on Cloud 6. That's all they got to get to. First to 6 wins taking the set. They got their work cut out for them. I think it's got to be Paladin. Paladin is their next weakest build. I think it happens to be the stronger one versus the Jade Druid as well. And they're going to have to see a repeat performance of last week where they did some big work with Warlock at the end. Last week they won their final 3 games in a row with Reno Warlock that featured a leather-clad Hog Leader in the build, as well as a big Game Hunter. Teched for the mirror matchup, and that was Tides of Time's brew for that deck. He wanted to crush the mirror.
Yeah, Cloud9 is used to playing from behind in situations like this. In their only win, it was a come-from-behind win. And in the 2 losses, obviously they were behind for a large portion of those. So definitely no stranger to it. And after last week, I'm sure now they probably have a nice, calm, cool head after being down in a series. So I wouldn't count them out yet. They still have the potential. We saw, like you mentioned, the work that they did with the Reno Lock last week. Currently, though, Cloud9 still debating on what they want, what deck they want to choose going into this next match.
Yep.
So
one of the big differences between last match and this one as well is that the Rogue is not available for Tempo Storm. So if it comes down to the control decks having to pull a lot of weight, they just have to get past the Aggro Warrior build, if it's an Aggro Warrior build. I think the 3 players here on Tempo Storm do have potential to be playing Control Warrior.
And Hunter. Don't forget about the Hunter. That's
a tough one as well.
Yeah.
But, Control Warrior very much in Tempo Storm's range here. VLPS, a very avid Control Warrior player. But it's really tough to ignore the power of Pirate Warrior at this point.
I feel like if they were playing Warrior, they would have banned some different decks. They banned away Shaman and Warrior.
Yeah, if it was Control Warrior, I think it would definitely not merit a Shaman
probably
ban.
Like probably Shaman and a Rogue ban, I'd say.
I don't know. I think Control Warrior fares pretty well versus
I guess it depends.
Rogue at the moment.
There's a lot of
Dirty Rat was a game changer to that one.
Hit him with the Dirty Rat.
That's important. If you have Shield Slam in your hand going into their Auctioneer turn, and you grab Auctioneer and Shield Slam it, that can easily single-handedly win the game.
Yeah.
Executes for Edwin's and Questing Adventurers. If they go wide on the board, brawl potential's there. Bash is a great answer to Small Time Buccaneer. You recover the health loss, buy some value with it. There's a lot of strong answers in Control Warrior to handle linear setups like that. The thing that it's not very good at handling is lots of value. Double Kazakus potions, Jade scaling, Jiraxis, those sort of things are really tough to defeat.
Nexus champion Sarad.
All those totemic mites really come in handy.
Yeah.
I've been a big fan of the Control Warrior builds lately, though. Sleep with the Fishes was a surprisingly strong card. 2 mana, deal 3 damage to all damaged minions. It's honestly, it's like a one-sided brawl a lot of times. You play Ravaging Ghoul, and then you play Sleep with the Fishes. You just dealt 4 damage to their whole board, and you get a 3/3.
I must protect the wild.
And you did it with style.
It's pretty stylistic, too. Have you seen the animation? Like, the whole board starts rumbling and shaking. Stuff is just blowing up.
Yeah, sinking.
I really wish there was a ship card.
A ship's cannon?
No, like a card that when it died, like, the pirates, they boarded the ship afterwards. Like, they came out of the ship, and they're like, all right, we got to fight, guys. And then there was a card that just said, sink the ship, and you silenced the ship and blew it up. Paladin versus Druid is the matchup here, and the Paladin definitely has the advantage in this matchup, albeit a slim margin.
But Tempo Storm has been drawn pretty hot on the Jade Druid recently. And by recently, I mean the last 3 games. So, see their opening hand this time around?
Ooh.
Not so hot.
Not so hot. Barnes in the opening hand for Cloud9 as well. Definitely potential for that card to go nuts in the right situation. And Aldor Peacekeeper picked up. That's great to couple with the Acolyte of Pain. in a lot of situations. Stand for Cloud9 shaping up to potentially be a winner.
Definitely much better than previous games. Hero power, past turn 1, hero power turn 2 is definitely what you want to see playing against a Druid.
I imagine Acolyte of Pain's coming out here. That will punish a Jade Blossom opening from Tempo Storm. Make that 1/1, and of course, draw your extra card.
Yeah.
Some deliberation over the War Leader, though.
Yeah, and a little bit of information being given away. Multiple 3-drops. Usually pretty obvious at this point, but let's listen to Tempo Storm and see if they picked up on it.
Yeah.
Punish with Wrath. It's fine. I don't know what to do against War Leader. I think we might Wrath War Leader instead of playing Spirit. But it's like it's uber defensive. I'm not sure.
But they all kept, right?
Yeah, they kept everything, I think.
So you would have True Silver as well.
Yes, maybe.
But maybe they kept
Still think I like
Wallida
the
plus
Jade Spirit.
Bluegill.
So
But
we
what
have
if they
Drake.
kept Wallida plus Bluegill? How bad is it for us?
Do you want to play Spirit or not? If they go Bluegill, it doesn't matter too much. If they go True Silver, I guess we just soak 2 charges with Spirits and Drake, or what?
I don't think that's
Yeah, if you don't have
right?
True Silver, then the 2/3 and the 1/1 trade into it. Then we can Drake on curve on 5 into Behemoth on 6.
So you're thinking they play like Barnes or something next turn, and then we get a
Yeah.
trade on War Leader?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jade
okay.
Spirit just seems stronger than Wrath, for sure. Like right now we only have the decision between Wrath Spirit, and Jade Spirit just seems stronger.
Or we could do Peacekeeper Getaway Coda.
Nope. Well,
Our War Leader lives that way, and then we can play the Bluegill.
then we can War Leader Bluegill and Azure Drake, hopefully.
Something like that, yeah. It's worth considering. What do you think?
I don't hate it. Odds on Barnes right now, there's 2 Doomsayers, 2 Pyros, 1 Acolyte. And those are all the bad ones.
If you do Barnes, it does fully to swipe. That's something to consider.
True.
It's 50-50 on Barnes for it to be something good.
Want to just try to win the game now, or play it slow?
50-50 to win the game with no downside is really good.
All right, let's go.
Tonight, a tale of terrible tragedy. I'm on fire.
Wow. That is sick.
Yeah. Not sure here.
What? No, I like trading over the 2/3. Keeps the 2/3 off the board.
Well,
It's hard to get through this without a spell. If they use a spell, there's no 5-drop. I think Tempo Storm's falling behind at this point.
yeah, definitely true. Wildguard's picked up, but probably about 4 turns too late.
Yeah, this hand has gotten awfully clunky for Tempo Storm. The Getaway Kodo is really interesting to me. I'm wondering if Murloc dies and it returns to hand with Getaway Kodo, if that counts as the Murloc dying, or if it returns the one that's dead to your hand.
I'm sure it counts as a die, or else they wouldn't play it.
Well, you get what I mean, though.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Like a picture, like Sat, for instance, just puts it back in the hand, right? Put a copy of it in your hand. I actually just don't know the text on that card. I know how it functions. I just don't know.
They should really change anything can happen's text to summon all the minions that died this game or got away on a Kodo. I think Blizzard needs to really clarify their text.
It's acceptable. For Cloud9, I think it's just a push turn. Aldor Peacekeeper, I think, is very likely to hit the board in this situation.
Yep. Very reactive.
Getaway Kodo is really strong with the Wicker Flame here, though. Just put it back in your hand. Have a 2/2 copy of it.
Let me
Keep the nuisance going.
They might be thinking about just Solemn Vigil and try and find more stuff.
It's possible as well. I mean, if Tempo Storm wants to hero power again on the Wicker Flame, like, that's not a winning play.
True.
I like Solemn Vigil, actually. I think you're right.
Comp's great.
let me
Let's get the damage in now.
Yeah. Yeah, this is more power on board. Let's go. Development's strong when your opponents had weak turns.
Must move quickly.
Yeah, I think maybe you're right. Probably should save the Consecrate.
I'm actually curious if you just play the bluegill here. I mean, you didn't get swiped.
Pass the swipe test.
That's what they were worried about.
Getting away Kodo.
Turn to, see what I mean?
Look at Chastain's face after he saw that secret blade.
Yeah, I mean, this is very uncommon. Let's hear what Tempo Storm thinks it is.
Wait, how did he get the secret?
He actually had
plays.
to.
He runs it in his deck. What do you mean?
And what secret do you run? Only
It's either
Getaway
redemption.
Kodo.
It's probably Getaway Kodo, I would say.
Getaway Kodo.
Do you actually think it's redemption? Repentance?
I think it's Getaway Kodo.
So if you
Oh man, you better be right about this.
You guys think it's
It's
Repentance?
repentance on war.
Dude, there's no way they're playing Repentance.
Super unlikely. Super unlikely.
Why would
No,
you
they're
run
going
that
they're
card?
going the greedy control route with this deck. They're not. I don't think they're going Repentance route.
I mean, repentance isn't even good against Jade decks because the Jades spawn off of battle cries and effects, right?
Yeah,
You
it's
still have to play
Getaway.
the war.
If you run
have to play the one
repentance, it's like super good against Reno Lock if you draw it at the right time. I guess is the idea.
For no one.
So we can go Drake and Ping, or we can just play War. What do you guys like?
It's war, dude. If it's Repentance, I will.
I'll auto concede if it's repentance. Like,
No, don't concede.
No, not
but it's not
auto
Repentance. I promise you, it's not.
okay. So mark my words. If that was repentance, I was gone. See you guys game 4. Game 5, right?
I like Peacekeeper more than Equality.
Yeah, Peacekeeper and just start bumping into it.
You can bump all your non-1 health guys into it.
And hero power.
Is your power dangerous to Getaway Kodo? No. If you don't bump that one, it's hard for him to snipe
Reporting for duty.
that one first.
Yeah, he already used double rat, so I'm not
Yeah.
afraid of him doing that.
I don't really like the rag here too much.
Yeah, the wreck seems.
What about Jade
Yeah,
Behemoth
the
and Hero
behemoth
Power?
is probably better. So do we actually trade with this? Or no?
Yeah, it's like
To remove 2
we have to
damage.
do it eventually.
Okay.
But
Right?
if it's first of all, if it is redemption, he gets a big burn bristle back.
It's definitely not Redemption.
So it's
Okay.
happening then.
100% Getaway Kodo.
Get away, Kodo.
Get away.
All right.
That's so weird. How can you fit this in the deck?
How can you not fit this
Memes,
in the
dude.
deck?
Wait, is
Memes.
it Tides of Time playing?
Perfect card.
Yeah, it's Tides.
I want to get away.
Kodo.
How does he know?
VLPS plays a lot, so
How
he's
does he know that?
He's probably seen it a few times.
From who?
I was waiting. VLPS said, "All right, if it's repentance, I'll." And then I was waiting for him to say like, "Eat my shirt" or something, but he didn't get it off, and he was sure though. He knows Getaway Kodo. Getaway Kodo, I suppose, is the only one that really makes sense. Possibly Redemption, but they're right. Repentance really just doesn't fit well in the meta. I suppose.
How does he know? That's crazy.
I know Getaway Kodo right away.
Cloud9 in an interesting spot here. It looks like they're eyeing the Solemn Vigil this turn. Maybe a pair of them even.
Yeah, just draw 4 cards. Well, I guess not everything's gonna die.
Yeah. Well, they could bluegill down the.
Yeah. All right, everything is gonna die.
Yeah. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
That's-
If they draw a Finja,
oh baby. Or if they draw a second wick. Oh, that's right. The Wicker Flame was from Barnes.
yeah. Now they have 2
Three
Wicker Flame.
Wicker Flame burn bristles? How's that even
Jeez.
possible? This is nuts. Tempo Storm, very, very few recovery tools. Honestly, the 3/3s are kind of terrorizing them at this point. They're just small enough that Tempo Storm doesn't really want to answer these, and they can't answer them effectively. But they're just big enough to deliver damage as well.
Yeah. The Jades are starting to get reasonably sized though, and if Save Cloud9 plays the Tyrion this turn, and then Temple Storm mulches it, they could be in trouble. But let's listen to Cloud9's plan.
Till next turn, and then any Venom and GG. Keep going
How many
face.
Murlocs have died? Do you know? Wait, you don't trade it for a 3/3 with your Peacekeeper? That we can isolate Aya with the Tyrion?
It forces him to trade Aya in to Tyrion.
I mean, it's not even enough. Then he still needs to hear like.
Yeah, it's not enough. I like pushing the damage and then just trying to push more damage with the burn bristles next turn, protecting the little minions we have. So I want to try and preserve as many minions as possible.
You do have equality consecrate. If
Yeah,
stuff goes
exactly.
bad.
I feel like not trading is weak to swipe, and we don't need more damage with the Tyrion weapon and anything.
Alright.
Yeah. I'm pretty confident about this trade.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah.
I feel like there's actually a way for them to come back if I don't trade here.
Hey, can we count Murlocs? Do we know? Like, it's all 4 have been
12.
played, right?
Yep.
That being a 5-1, right?
Yeah.
They draw 2 now.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
worth it.
Is Drake.
Wait, we go auctioneer, right?
I
Yeah, I
think
think
so.
we auctioneer.
Yeah.
I don't even know that we can afford to take that 2 damage. It's close. Like, we're dead in 2 turns. We have to-
But just think about win condition. Do we have to push here? Like, how do we win? We lose to anything, man. What is our winning line?
What do you want to take? It's either Innovate or Nourish, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it's Innervate.
Yeah, I mean, the Innovate gives us a draw here, right? We can Innovate the blue kill and push 5 damage. We definitely go for the Innovate.
Blue kill.
Yeah.
Now we can... okay, let's see what we get here.
But you don't
Yeah, push
use second
5.
Innovate, because next turn we could go Rack, Innovate.
But it makes
Dragon
map.
Mulch or
You can just
something.
Burn Bristle, go face with the Ashbringer, go for the turn 10 lethal, which have the
I don't
beam
think-
and stop it.
Yeah, we have the Behemoth to stop it.
Yeah, we have to do it now, I guess.
We definitely have to push DPS.
I mean, this is one of the things where they're going to play Burn Bristle this turn, and then they're going to set up Doomsayers to set up anything.
Dude, easy
So we
second
will-
ones.
It's not easy to play around it. They might have double Doomsayer, in which case...
It's, like, if you get into 1, I don't know. Do your thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Like, he needs mulch or bust, right? I mean, actually, he can't swipe Wrath because he used 2 Wraths. So he could have double swipe. It doesn't give him a lot of men. He has 2 Innervates left, though, because that Innervate was from whatchamacallit.
Actually, you know, double Burn Bristle Doomsayer is kind of like Equality Conk.
Except
equality-
quality con kills taunts.
Move quickly.
Save equality for Ancient War.
Yeah.
I'm on fire. I'm on fire.
Oh, I'm on fire! Dun.
Admirable is Wicker Flame Burn Bristle.
It's a good setup here for Cloud9 too. Having the Equality Consecrate to make the push afterwards and setting up this kind of board means that Tempo Storm needs swipe in multiples, or they need mulch to handle the Doomsayer. Now they have mulch, but Cloud9 still got plenty of time. They have a lot of life to play with. They have Ashbringer on board. They have anything can happen. They have Equality Consecrate. What else do they need to win this game?
Nothing. Maybe a
Really
second
tough.
anything.
Really tough for Tempo Storm to win.
They
here.
got a Cairn. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, Wild Pyro Equality into Cairn is a thing too.
Yeah, just puts a sticky minion on the board that's going to stay alive. It does. I guess it doesn't dilute the Murloc pool because there's only 4 right now. There's all they need.
Well, it's also a Cairn.
It is a Cairn. Yeah.
Yeah, not a. Why would it do the Murloc? Oh, you mean board space?
Board space. Yeah. that's
Gotcha,
what I meant.
gotcha.
Should there need to be a second anything? But if there's a second anything, the game's over.
Yeah, so this is gonna be run over Aya, Equality Consecrate. I'm sorry, Wild Pyro Equality into Cairn, unless it's just lethal on board. Haven't done the math on it though.
It's lethal on board. All right. Well, for Cloud9, trade.
Yeah,
boom,
there
boom.
we go. Didn't do the math.
Dunzo.
Cloud9 did. Up to 30 as well. Perfect game.
Yeah. Not bad. Actually, better than not bad. Pretty good. Cloud9 puts themselves on the board still with the 3 losses to Druid's going to put them in a rough spot, but at least now they're mounting the comeback.
It's important to get this win. If they didn't get this win, that was probably the end of the series. In terms of like percentages of like 95 to 99% would have been Tempo Storm. Now with this win, if they pick up 2 more, they're just back on even footing. This is a critically important game for Cloud9 to win this one.
All right, we'll see if Cloud9 can continue to make this a close series. We're going to go to a break, but don't go anywhere, guys. More Trinity Series right after this. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Hearthstone Trinity Series presented by ESL and Twitch. Right in the middle of the Cloud9 versus Tempo Storm series. Because of their 3 wins with Druid earlier on, Tempo Storm has a pretty good lead right now.
Yeah, in a great spot that they're in as well. When you pick up 3 wins with Druid, you force a lot off the table for your opponent. They were able to take down the Priest from Cloud9, able to take down the Rogue from Cloud9, a very unfavored matchup, and then able to win the mirror match as well. Cloud9 starting to come back with Paladin here. If they can rattle off 3 wins of their own, though, we got ourselves a set.
Yes, we do. But it's going to depend a lot on winning a lot, whatever this next deck is. Admirable. It's a Hunter. And that's an injured Cavaldier.
That means Desert Camel.
Desert Camel.
Injured Cavaldier, of course, not a very strong card in its own right. 1 mana, 2/4, deals itself 3 damage when you play it from hand. That's the battle cry.
Especially not good with Bran.
Yeah. However, definitely not. It deals itself 6 damage. With Desert Camel, each player just gets a 1-cost minion from their deck and puts it into play. That won't trigger the battle cry. And that means in this matchup, the Desert Camel is a 3 mana 2/4 that summons a 2/4.
And nothing for your opponent. Unless they've teched in a random 1-drop.
Like a Mistress of Mixtures or something weird. That would be very strange in an Anyfin Paladin build, though. So Cloud9, if they run into Desert Camel, are likely getting 0 value from it.
Yeah, obviously going to throw away the injured Cavaldier here. Cloud9 picks up a pretty good opening hand. Lots of stuff to fight early for the board. And Barnes...
Oh, they kept an injured Cavaldier just simply because they want a 1-drop. It's important to have a 1-drop to get off to the races. But they draw the other injured Cavaldier.
That's brutal. I'm sure they have other 1-drops in the deck, though. I don't know, actually.
Might be a Fiery Bat. It'd be cool to beat Fiery Bat with the Fiery Bat.
Be really cool.
Nice curve for Tempo Storm, though. This Hunter deck looks like it wants to get off to the races and punish. And a Flare teched in as well to help answer the Reno Mage decks, kill that Ice Block, and get going. And next turn, I think we're pretty likely to find out if there's a another one in here. Of course, no Doomsayer in the hand for Cloud9 means that there's not much for them to give. Let's listen to their turn as they play Bluegill Warrior.
If he doesn't have the True Silver,
Yeah.
and it's,
If you go Companion, you force him to use the True Silver. If you go Desert Camel, it's
also
no
if we get
pressure.
Huffer and he doesn't have True Silver, that's so much damage that we're pushing.
They only kept 1 card. They kept 1 card. And if they haven't played a card yet, it's most likely True. So let's expect they have a True Silver. Do we still go Hammer? I think we still
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Because if you get Huffer, they have to Coin Consecrate, and then we're better off playing Cavaldier or Camel next turn.
Well,
I mean, if you play it fast enough, it comes out as a 2/4, right? Is that how that goes?
Tonight.
Barnes. Interesting.
they kept the Barnes. That's definitely interesting. And they insta-played.
Dude, I think it's Deli Shot that.
No, we flare
No,
it.
we just flare it. We just
Oh,
flare it.
yeah. Oh, dude.
We flare and go for the Cavaldier. Now first we see what we draw.
Yeah, let's draw
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, we flare here all the time.
We trade 2-1 into it. Right.
Yeah.
Wait, Finja is... Wait. Whenever this attacks...
It has to attack. It has to attack.
Yeah. Sorry, it's fine.
Because, dude, it kills my minion, you know? I was like...
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good.
Do we play injured here or not?
I think we curve out. Like
plays-
next turn, we can curve out with it still. I think.
I think we play it because we have.
Yeah.
If he doesn't have Consecrate, we want to trade
Okay.
2-1 into the 1-1.
The thing is, you can
and
still
fight
have
for 4-4.
Aldo.
Yeah.
I think we trade.
Yeah, we trade, and then we play the Cavaldier, for sure.
But it's good for us if he uses an Aldo on the animal for our Heinz and other stuff.
I don't want to get True Silvered if they have it later.
I feel
mean,
like you would have
seems
played
like
it
they
though.
don't have it, but
I don't know.
But
I might
it's
have pushed
still
there,
probably
but
safer to play it slow. I mean, our hand sucks. We have to go into late game.
Doomsayer Hero Power?
I like
Yep.
Doomsayer here. I think Getaway Kodo is not. Is this time you think of that?
I was actually okay with Getaway Kodo, but they have 2 1 HP minions, so yeah.
What does that mean? Oh, the 1/1's really good.
Yeah.
okay, it makes sense.
This deck's pretty cool.
The tech. Blair the Finja. Forgot about that part on it. Remove stealth from your opponent's minions as
Yeah.
well.
interesting mechanic on that card. I saw it play for a little bit as a tech card in like the original days of Miracle Rogue.
Well, it was also one.
There's also 1 mana. You guys used to be much cheaper. Yeah. Deadly Shot also pretty good against Finja. Should it be isolated on the board on turn 5? So this deck definitely should be good against Smirloff Paladin. The way it's built with Desert Camel, Flare, Deadly Shot,
Stranglethorn Tiger. Can't Elder that.
Yep.
Just looking to set up tough turns for Cloud9's Paladin over and over again.
Ooh, Getaway Kodo. Wild Pyromancer, Getaway Kodo.
It's pretty good, but we would have loved to couple the Acolyte with it.
Yeah, that's true. Debating on whether or not to hero power in case the 1/1 gets cleared off.
I think they're feigning a bluegill here. Maybe
they might just not hero power, so that Getaway Kodo gives back a Wild Pyromancer. But let's listen into Tempo Storm and hear what they're planning.
Just play the Tiger and then just pass, I think. It's pretty good Tiger pass.
I mean, then we give him like a free equality. The thing is, we don't want to give him the Pyromancer. He might have not a second equality enabler.
Could just kill the 1/1 and play the Kindly Grandmother now.
I think that's too weak, right? No, I mean, we can go Camel and Kindly Grandmother.
Yeah.
And kill the 1/1.
Yeah.
Is that the play?
I think it's developing enough power still.
Yeah, okay. Why don't we play 1/1 first in case this repetites again? I mean, it's just sequencing, right? Like,
yeah.
But
just in case.
Victor said, guys, trust me, it's gonna
be a guarantee. It's a guarantee. I'm sticking by it.
2 silver hero power sets up for equality 1/1 into the high main, which I like a lot.
Is it better than Acolyte of Pain on this board, though?
Let me think.
Acolyte of Pain farms pretty hard. We could ignore the high main. Because we don't have, like, Consecrate to kill the 2/2s or anything. So what about the War Leader Acolyte of Pain instead of True Silver?
I wonder.
It's a fine play. It just counts on
I don't know.
top decking AoE.
What do you think about Houndmaster? What happens if he Houndmasters? Does he have it? I guess I'm kind of leaning towards Acolyte. We need to draw stuff right now.
Yeah.
Hey, speak to me.
Juanita. Yes, okay.
I like this Tiger because I don't think they will equality next turn. And afterwards it can get equalities. Like the other possibilities are like if you go Deadly Shot we can deny.
And the thing is, like, he only has
4 cards in hand.
3 cards in hand, considering the fact that one of them is a 1/1.
Yeah, do we ever card starve him here?
But if you Deadly Shot, you mean Deadly Shot Kindly Grandmother or something like that?
No, you have to Deadly Shot. You have to kill command to guarantee the Acolyte Deadly Shot.
You want to use both?
We would have to. If we want to go that route to card starve them, then we have to. But I don't know if it's worth it because they're playing double Solemn Vigil.
I think card starving here is fine.
So we go kill command Deadly Shot.
Yeah, kill command Deadly Shot. Because our deck is full of value. As long as we draw into like a high main or rag or call the wild, we should win either way, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to give them 2 cards off of Acolyte. This is basically denying like an Arcane Intellect and deal some free damage, right? So
yeah, and now they have to Solemn Vigil for 5 too. It's like not great. If they had all those minions on board, they could have gotten not only Acolyte value, but like a free Solemn Vigil as well.
But we used all
for sure.
So we got a lot of information off of Tempo Storm's little chat there. Call the Wild, Ragnaros, High Main. All cards that you'd expect to be in this type of hunter deck, I suppose.
Yeah, it's a weird game, for sure. Card starving, I think, is... well, I mean, it's really good, honestly. Like, Cloud9 needs to draw stuff to get into this game, and Tempo Storm finds Call of the Wild instantly, and the setup here is, it may force the Equality Consecrate from Cloud9 anyway. I'm curious if they're sniffing out Call of the Wild. I mean, it's a freshly drawn card. They just played these. I don't know if you respect that or not.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be able to clear with Equality Consecrate next turn regardless. It depends how much damage they want to take. So they're going to take 5 from Huffer, 6 from the Stranglethorn Tiger.
13 right now if they killed the 3-2. And they have no other play this turn if that's the case.
And they would be using effectively their whole turn for Equality Consecration. I suppose, no, they wouldn't even have enough mana to re-equip a True Silver Champion or something along those lines. So
it's just a brutal turn.
We'll see if they can stabilize after that fact. They might be in a good spot, but let's see what Cloud9's planning.
It is kind of a value game, kind of a life gain game.
They got 1 kill command, 2 quick shots, max 2 Call of the Wilds left. So
we also do have another True Silver for healing. I'm kind of leaning towards saving Equality.
Okay. Yeah, there's Call of the Wild or there's the 4 burn cards. So just evaluate which one hurts you more. We can live through most of the burn cards.
Let me think.
It kind of makes sense to Equality Consecrate. I don't know. You can do.
I like that.
I kind of like it now. The more I think about it.
I'm just afraid to die really slowly to the Hunter Hero power.
Yeah, me too. 5 damage is a lot. We can easily.
All of the win.
Usually this is GG then.
I mean, you can set up the trade with 1/1, so it's not too bad for him, I guess.
Yeah, it's not terrible for him, actually. I wonder if we value trade.
No.
So we're
It does nothing. Yeah, you're never value trading.
We're gonna get the rack next turn with the. Do you know how good the Alex are getting now? Because we played all 4 2-drops and
We only
the
have 1
1-drops.
camel, everything else is 4 or
And,
higher.
yeah, only camel. So we have 4 drops or higher.
Well, they have quite a few high cost cards as well, right?
I mean, especially if they run ends off, right? Yeah, sure, but
Better to use your weapon to kill. Wait, don't play it. Is it better to use your weapon to kill Leok? So like trade all 4, leave up the Huffer? I think that's better.
I was thinking of doing that as well.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Well, maybe Cloud9 can stabilize with enough to play the anything can happen, but...
Is that 2 bluegills dead now?
2 bluegills, 1 more leader.
And 1 Finja.
I do declare.
Wow.
Well,
Tempo Storm stack. They mentioned it loaded with value at this point.
But if they joust and draw something too heavy...
Oh, mama. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 damage available this turn alone. They'll opt for hero power and set Cloud9 down to 3 instead. So if Cloud9 cannot heal themselves up for a ton here, Tempo Storm is going to take a win.
With Hunter.
I don't think that does it. Brings them up to 11. Facing too much on board. Do they have to anything? Anything doesn't even clear the board here.
No, they don't have enough. Oh, anything clears the board.
Oh, there's 2 bluegills.
But they'd die. They'd be at 1.
Go to 5 from True Silver, and then you die to the Tundra Rhino quick shot. Yeah, that's game.
They could clear off the Tundra Rhino, and they'd stay at 3. They can play around.
Go to 11 from the Ragnaros, and then there's 12. They're dead to the quick shot.
No, play anything can happen. Clear off the 2. They can live on board doing it that way. I guess they can live on board doing it both ways. Which one
can't live through quick shot?
Just can't live through quick shot. Any burn. And they know that there's a lot of burn left.
Everyone knows they're dead except them.
Awkward.
Awkward's fitting too because it's a hunter. Yep, they're going to go for it. It's the best on-board play they have. But it's not enough. Tempo Storm with that final quick shot is going to take a 4-1 lead.
Hunter took a win.
Woo!
Oh, yeah.
Hunter's 2-1 in the Trinity Series now.
Not a bad record. And, I mean, you could tell that this deck was made to beat the control-style decks. There it is.
66.66. Now, repeating, of course, win rate here in the Trinity Series.
Very nicely done. See if they can continue it. But as is customary with the first Hunter win of the day in Trinity Series, it's time to shoot off the honorary Hunter shot. Ready, Admirable?
Do the honors. And we get another Hunter game.
And we get another Hunter game. Potentially more Hunter games.
Druid, Hunter are their wins so far.
I don't know.
What is going on in this set?
This is backwards day. I want to get off this wild ride. Actually, no, I want to stay on.
Yeah,
Keep going.
it's great. Wow.
Slim pickings for Cloud9.
Yeah, and Hunter is going to operate well versus both of these builds. They saw the flare, so they know the Reno Mage deck can struggle against it. And Warlock has historically been terrible versus Hunter. Unless it's Zoo versus the non-explosive trap, non-unleash the Hounds Hunter builds. Which I'm going to guess Cloud9 isn't playing Zoo.
Probably not. We've seen one Zoo so far in the Trinity Series, and it was from Temple Storm. That's it.
This is an uphill battle, and we might see the close with Hunter here. It might be poised perfectly for this spot.
I would love to see that after, so many weeks of Hunter just getting bullied, Not in-game, but out of game. And now he learned karate after school. And he's coming back, and he's facing off against the bullies.
So it's a little bit less finesse with this karate, just kind of hits you with stuff.
Yeah.
But it gets the job done.
It really does.
Sometimes.
But Cloud9 is still deciding which of these decks that they're going to want to go up against the Hunter with. Again, with 2 decks remaining, it's just Warlock or Mage. And if both of those are Reno, they could be in some trouble.
I'm trying to think of where the win comes from here. And there's checks on every
Amicus.
side for Tempo Storm side. Solid deadly shots that are in there. Aliens guy, is that what you're going for there? Yeah.
Good call.
And that's a Leatherclad Hog Leader, which is not tech in this matchup.
No. Hunters usually don't have 6 or more cards.
Right. Now, the one benefit here is that Cloud9 does have a 1-cost minion they can get from Desert Camel, but it doesn't fight well versus 2/4s.
Potentially, Mistress and Mixture is usually an inclusion, but sometimes an exclusion.
It has been. I mean, Corruption has found their way into a lot of these builds. Just to handle minions early on, you just need to be able to play it, take the damage, and go on with your life. You just need to get something off the board heading into your Reno turn. So it's become a fairly common tech choice lately. But for Tempo Storm, you keep the camel. You got the coin. This is the matchup for it. This is what they're trying to do.
And I think we're throwing away the Cabal there. Yeah, this matchup, 1 drop
Really
with 1 health.
for the Houndmaster keep.
I'd like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, I really like that. Because you're usually not going to get punished, especially, if you're playing a few beasts early on. Well, that may not be the strongest of hands.
And there's a Doomsayer on the other side of the board.
Doomsayer matches up against Desert Camel quite nicely. I guess Eagle Hornbow and Quickshot both punish it.
That's a nice pickup. That will probably delay the coin at this point. I think Tempo Storm start's going to be strong enough to simply wait on the matter. Because with Kindly Grandmother out, they can still ensure the Houndmaster there. So this hand's looking very nice for Tempo Storm. Cloud9, of course, they're just trying to get to a stable board position. They have to offset and scale from there. Let's listen to Tempo Storm as they head into turn 2.
At this point, I like saving the coin for Rag on 7, to be honest with you guys.
Look. If we go kindly and then pull a Mistress of Mixtures, we can't really. So I don't know. If he would set up Bow, we could kill the Mistress of Mixtures and then go Houndmaster. Like we could coin the Bow technically, but we would get punished too much by Urus.
We have Rag. I think we have to save the coin. We have double call. I think it's too important to save the coin.
Maybe we don't even go Camel next turn.
Yeah, maybe we just coin Houndmaster. Maybe we just Bow.
Or coin Houndmaster, yeah. So okay, I like the Kindly Grandmother here. We also have Rag in hand. We definitely save. But you see what I'm saying, right? Because we pull the Mistress of.
No, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
That is really bad. And if you play it doesn't really contest it. So it's awkward.
Get Bow though, then we lose.
You just lose a game to Bow? What do you mean?
I think we're at a disadvantage. Do we need additional cards with the hand is also another consideration.
I don't think Bow's that big of a... I think playing into Animal Companions are worse than Bow. No swing. I don't know.
So Doomsayer goes off, we play into Bow on that turn. We also play into Houndmaster on the following turn to be able to trade into our Refreshment Vendor. I don't hate it, but I'm just saying those are the potential downsides we got to try and avoid. I don't see the very much benefit in tapping either. I mean, we need to find Reno and Kazakus eventually. That's one thing, but we don't have any AOE right now. So I guess I agree with Stripe Group. Fighting for the board's really relevant with no current, sweepers anytime soon. Like, we got AOE, but it's Abyssal and Twisting. So I think we should fight for the board a little bit. Yeah, Doomsayer.
Still have,
Doomsayer.
yeah,
Wow,
that's
really?
what I was saying. They would not play Doomsayer until you just.
Do we just play the bow then?
Yeah. No, I think we might tracking now, to be honest.
We don't need a tracking.
No. We don't need to tracking. We don't
I
need
think
to
bow's
tracking.
fine. Okay, I don't hate the bow.
Yeah.
I mean, if they play
if they
Ooze,
play
we already
Ooze,
have
we
done
can
some.
we can Houndmaster and then 5/4 trade into it if we want to.
I don't even think we trade. I think we push the 5.
Push the 5, yeah. I mean, either way, like it's fine, right?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, do you ever use the bow charge here?
Honestly, we really
care.
trade with the
No.
charge.
We're a control deck. Like
Push
the
your face.
upside for 3 damage is not high enough.
Think? Okay.
Yeah, it's just not.
All right.
Yeah. So we didn't really lose.
Gazamicus.
It's a very powerful card. You heard Cloud9 painfully played the Doomsayer right in a Kindly Grandmother, and the purpose of it was simply to delay Tempo Storm development. So they get a bonus by having the Kindly Grandmother on board, but if Cloud9 4-went that and just went for life tap, I think they would have fallen way too far behind.
Yeah. All right, summon a 5/5 minion, transform a random enemy into a 1/1 sheep, or draw 2 cards. 5/5 demon, a lot of merit. Mystic Wool, though, summon the sheep, can be used to deal with Savannah Highmane, can be used to deal with a Stranglethorn Tiger on a board. And didn't see what their second option was, but we'll definitely see.
So 7 armor and 5 damage, I believe, was the best options. Houndmaster here is a pretty big punish, too, but there's so many good plays for Tempo Storm. You heard Saiyan mention it. They're a control deck.
Yeah.
And what he means by that is every single one of his plays is meant to be problematic and value-oriented.
Yeah.
If that's the case, eventually the Hunter hero power gets there. It's hard for Hunter to control aggressive decks. It's very easy for them to control decks that don't pressure you.
Yeah, because Hunter's going to keep applying that pressure regardless of what happens, in the game on the board, if they're given enough time. And they're always going to be given enough time. They actually decided to go with Barnes here. I think this is a nod to what the potential for the Kazakhs push could be. That's Highmane!
Oh, baby.
Oh!
That is huge. And that is a heap of no answers.
Yiperinos. That's all I got to say.
Wow.
Gee Willikers. Holy smokes.
Skibba beep bop badoo. That's about all she wrote, man. I don't think Cloud9's coming back in this one.
No, I really like the pivot from Temple Storm there, though. Houndmaster gets pretty heavily punished by Kazakus Potion, the 4 damage Kazakus Potion, as well as Desert Camel. But let's listen into Temple Storm after they see this play.
Just Houndmaster the Savannah, push the damage face.
Wait. So we have 2 trackings. We can.
Or do you want to trade? I don't want to trade.
I want to trade the 3/2 and the bow and then push the 3 for sure.
Okay.
Just play the injured.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Like you want the Savannah to lift their AoE.
Oh wait.
for sure.
The
Yeah, they
Hawk
can trade
leader.
Hellfire, you're right.
How many cuts? For how many cuts does he get charged?
What?
The Hawk leader, the one that gets charged.
Oh, we have 6. Yeah, it's 6.
Hog Leader isn't a deal if he runs it into Highmane, so we don't have to worry about that card.
Yeah, so just
I don't think we're coining because we need to
Savannah.
coin for
Trade
I'd
the
rather
3/2.
tracking next turn and coin Highmane, right? Yeah, let's do it this way. Houndmaster. And
We can also track now for a high.
We can just do it next turn and still
No.
play the Savannah with the coin.
Okay.
Because if you don't find it, you don't have to coin. You can just play 4-drop. And I like playing Cavalder as well.
But it's 6 cards, right?
Yeah.
What? Is it?
Yeah, because they don't have that much. It's not split. I think it's kind of okay for us.
Yellow
Are you
Dirty
ready, Hellfire?
Yeah, I like it.
Hellfire?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we know that one of his high mains at least is back there, and even if he has high main in hand, odds should be in our favor that we pull something good. Yeah, he already played a Kindly Grandmother as well.
Yeah. He's played a lot of Death Rattles.
Wait. Do you consider Hellfire before Dirty Rat? It does 3 damage to Dirty Rat, and 2/6 is way better than 2/3 against the 2/2s after. It might not kill. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Almost all of his minions are going to be 3 damage, though.
Yeah, and a 2/3 is really good against 2/2s.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's bad against Quick Shot, though. But
Then we just Abyssal.
yeah,
Alright, let's go.
big money. Wah.
Maybe we don't Hellfire? You think Refreshment
No,
Fender?
Hellfire. You're setting up for the Abyssal next turn. Hellfire.
Yeah. Take a lot.
What?
I should have Dirty Rat Hellfire. No. I'm pretty sure Refreshment Fender was better.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, because now
We have to play. Yeah, we have to play
Ragnarok.
this first.
Let's play the tracking then.
Oh, he has the Mistress in hand.
Yes.
Or he doesn't run it. We're not running it ourselves. So.
Nah, dude, you run it, right?
You don't have to run it.
You
So
can
we
trade
definitely-
2-1 and 2-2. No, wait. Let me think. If we play 2-1, 2-2, go face, put him to 14.
He
we end
just
up
used
putting-
Hellfire. I mean, he can have
on
Abyssal
board.
next turn. Do we play around
That's
Abyssal
fine.
next turn?
That's fine. You don't play around Abyssal. You put out the damage so Rat can get the lethal. I
Yeah,
think
we go for
2-1 is
lethal.
better.
So just trade the 2/2/2/1. Push the 2/2 face. Play the Cavalry Hero Power.
Yeah, I don't like using tracking. I don't want to just waste cards for my.
Consideration is only MC tech, I guess. I think
do they run it, Zizek?
2-1 is still better, right?
Yeah, play around it. I think just tracking instead. We still have lethal anyway.
Okay, tracking. I don't have much
Nice.
time.
I like Giggle.
Abby, hi man.
Hi, man.
Yeah, I mean.
I think Demon Wrath to heal for 2 is good enough.
Yeah, we have no other play.
A Demon Wrath Refreshment Ender.
Yeah.
That does set up pretty well for next turn too.
Funnel cakes. Get your funnel cakes here.
Hunter's doing some work.
This is brutal, man. This is brutal. Tempo Storm firmly in the driver's seat as Cloud9 is inefficiently using resources turn after turn to stave off the damage.
Yeah,
The communication among the teams is getting a bit hectic too.
both teams.
I mean, how often do you experience Hunter when you're practicing? Almost nobody practices with this deck, so you're constantly in unfamiliar territory.
Yeah, they haven't even mentioned like the possibility of a rag either. You know, even though Tempo Storms play early on in the game with like holding onto the bow charge, you know, not playing as much of the board, playing around a lot of AoE.
Keeping the coin.
Keeping coin has shown that coin could be for called a while, but it has shown that they want to play more of a controlled game. And they haven't even made a mention towards it. So this is actually pretty tough from Tempo Storm, to be honest, whether or not to coin out the rag or play the Savannah High Main and try and finish the game with the rag. So definitely see High Main it is, and coin Kindly Grandmother to try and play around AoE a little bit.
Yeah, this is looking like some sort of Shambler turn. I mean, Power Overwhelming and Faceless Shambler is a lot of taunt damage on board. Oh, they just pick up Spellbreaker too. I don't know, man. This is brutes. They do have some ways to, I think, maybe turn this game around, but
Still don't have the Reno either, so they can't really stabilize.
yeah, like I mean, if they Power Overwhelming and Faceless Shambler, like what is the Refreshment Vendor hit? You just hit a Savannah High Main?
Face. And then it dies, and then Deadly Shot just loses you the game.
Deadly Shot is a really killer card here. I don't
Yeah.
think that they have a way to effectively play around that. If they choose to go with like Silence Blast Crystal Potion on the Spellbreaker, take out the Savannah High Main. That looks pretty good too, though. I mean,
That might be the best option.
You just kill one of the 2/2s afterwards. Yeah, that's the best play, I think.
Yeah.
You're going to suffer way too much damage otherwise, and this is starting to really spell out the desperation for Cloud9. I mean, they have 4 cards in their hand.
That's a pretty good stabilization turn, though. Just will they be able to deal with the rag? Let's go ahead and listen to Temple Storm and see how spirits are.
Do we?
Yeah.
Yes. Rag is.
So we trade the 2/2 and the
Yeah, trade
3/3
4/3
and the
rag.
4/3 and play rag.
Yeah.
Why are we making the trades?
You think push
You
it?
don't like trading?
I mean, I feel like he can clear everything with like, maybe the double trade in the Mortal Coil if it goes
Yeah.
face.
But if
know.
you go face for 11, that would be lethal if he goes for trade. I mean, he could go trade Coil and then Reno.
I think if we trade, like, we kind of make him have Siphon Soul.
I wonder.
I guess he could have Nether still, but then we have double Call the Wild that he never deals with Nether gone.
I kind of like the trade, actually. Because we still have Call of the Wild and stuff.
Okay.
I think it's better to... And he could still have Reno. I think also for that, it's probably better to kill off the 4-3. Because it's also favorable trades. To kill the 4-3.
Looking at our deck, all our top decks are pretty insane. We just have damage in, like, late game, which is really good at this point.
Is this better for us if it goes face? I'm actually not
I don't think it
sure.
matters too much. I guess it depends if
He's gonna play a Reno here, don't worry.
Yeah, if he plays Reno, this is worse. If he doesn't have Reno, this is definitely better.
Egg flip. Right? That's the play.
I don't like going for the rag flip. I like twisting more than that.
The thing is, we don't have recovery.
Wait, after twisting, then what?
Either way, we're kind of trying to top deck Reno or
We just gotta
Jiraxis.
survive until we top deck Reno or Draxus, yeah.
Draxus isn't an out.
Yeah, it's not an out if we don't Ragnaros here.
Yeah. But we need to win back-to-back flips for Draxus to be an out.
Almost out of time.
I don't know if it's worth it or not, but
I'm going
Follow
for
your heart.
Ragnaros. Yeah.
I mean, we're in a shit spot. I say we need to go big.
Yes.
Oh my god, he lost. Nice.
Don't even BM, just deadly shot. Don't show anything else. Yeah. Nice, too.
Nice one. Where's your nice one?
Mage.
Same you say
Mage, we got
it
Flare.
in the most
Should we
beautiful
pick it up?
way.
3-0 with the Hunter. The 3-0 with the Hunter.
It's not over yet, and then
That ambulance was for Cloud9. Holy moly, that was a beating. Hunter just it demolishes those style of builds. I don't think Cloud9 could have done anything to prevent that loss there. That's build technology that's winning that matchup.
That game was nice too.
Well timed for Tempo Storm there.
Yeah. All right, but we're going to see if Tempo Storm can close out with the Hunter deck. Never before seen in the history of Hearthstone. We're going to go to a break. We'll be right back. More Trinity Series right after this. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Hearthstone Trinity Series presented by ESL and Twitch. My name is TJ, once again joined by That's Admirable. And is Tempo Storm going to close out the series with Hunter of all things.
I think they're going to. Their last matchup remaining versus Cloud9 is Reno, or is a mage build, which I'm assuming is a Reno mage build. And we saw a flare teched into the Hunter build from Tempo Storm. They have counterplay to everything. They can keep the pressure high. They're loaded with greedy endgame damage cards. Where on earth does Cloud9 find a recovery state versus this?
I honestly don't know. It's going to be tough. And I never thought I'd say this, where Tempo Storm queued up Hunter with 3 wins left to go, and I could already see them reaching the finish line. So we're going to move into it. Game number 7, match point here for Tempo Storm potentially. Can they do it? Hunter versus Reno Mage.
This is a big win, too. I mean, they're keeping Cloud9 off of a long set. If it comes to tiebreakers later down the season, this set could have affected that. That is brutal to think about. A slow start for Tempo Storm, though, but again, their build isn't about getting on the ground running as quickly as possible. It's just simply about strong value at every step of the way.
Yeah. This is actually a tough choice because Call of the Wild has potentially a ton of value in this matchup, but hitting the ground running with Desert Camel can also be huge. Animal Companion, not so sure. I think Desert Camel will be the choice between the 3 drops. But then again, Call of the Wild also would mean by choosing that, your hand is very clunky. So I think it's a force for Desert Camel there, and I guess they just have to be sad that there's no second Call of the Wild on the deck.
It's definitely a force. The Desert Camel just represents so much early value because it's 2 bodies that Cloud9 would have to handle in that situation. If they're relegated to bow instead, it doesn't work quite the same. And they already have tons of value loaded in here. So the Animal Companion's not a consideration because it's dying to a lot of single target removal spells. Now that Cloud9 has seen turn 2 hero power, let's see how they want to take on the turn.
Finally.
Wish they missed against the other decks. Would have been auto win.
We gotta beat Leah.
Yeah. I like this better. Also, if you play Brand, you can't play Manic next turn or unactivate your Reno.
I have to play it, yeah.
Next turn on Go Plus. I mean, sure.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Whatever, right? Who cares?
Yeah.
So sick,
Thank you.
dude.
Thank you.
Easiest 1-1.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, it's still good because our guy, just bow and play the quality.
Ball near, kill the brand.
And I think there's some merit to just playing the injured this turn.
Yeah, I play.
This is like the turn that he wants to ping. Yeah.
It's great. It's a great early start for Cloud9, honestly.
Yeah.
It's. I feel like I mention this every single time I watch Firebat play too. It almost seems like no matter what deck he's playing, he just plays stuff, and it's good.
He just throws it out there. I wonder if he even thought of the Desert Camel interaction with Babbling Book when he put another one in the deck.
I think he did.
For Manic Soulcaster.
I think it was the whole purpose.
Yeah, and he said, "Oh, nice, Babbling Book," and Firebat goes, "Thank you, thank you."
They also needed to fight off Leok. You heard him mention if they played the Brand instead, it would have offset their tempo in order to fight off against Leok that turn. So the Manic Soulcaster just fit the bill.
Fit the bill.
Unintentional counter.
Do what to do.
All right, well, Doomsayer this turn.
Yeah, this is meant to delay Stranglethorn Tiger in a lot of situations. And at the same time, it lets them get Refreshment Vendor out. So once the Refreshment Vendor's down, maybe they move into a turn where they can Firelands Portal a Savannah Highmane or handle it in some effective way.
Yeah, I mean, if they roll into Refreshment Vendor and they find a way to kill it, like, say, Frostbolt into Volcanic Potion, boom, all of a sudden in a nice spot. So let's see. Master Stallion into Firelands Portal could be some of that tempo that they need to survive this damage.
Very important pickup. Let's listen to Tempo Storm now as they're leading with Savannah.
The question is if it survives, if we trade. Let's see if he has a Polymorph. Polymorph is sick, to be honest. Polymorph and Babbling Brook. Do we play around Ice Barrier? Do you think they run? Oh, people don't run Iceberry anymore, right?
We ever King Zealot and kill command it? Especially now that we drew that. We can curve out with both
okay,
drops.
this ping is a swipe setup or trade plus ping setup?
Flame Strike?
Flame Strike, yeah.
Yeah.
So do we play around Flame Strike with the trade? So our turn is Alec or kind of
I think we keep it as a
forces FS into a high main with 2/2s and the Alec, and then we have Ragnaros, right?
What do you guys think about Kindly Grandmother, Tiger, and Trade? It really plays around Flame Strike the most.
I even think King Zealot can just kill command it, keeping it at 6/4. It's like,
oh, you like that?
Yeah, kill command it, play both 2-drops, cycle
and
first,
play,
King Zealot.
Okay, we play Alec here, and then we probably also play the minion, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, Flame Strike there. Oh, no Alex in hand is a big deal too.
That's huge, yeah.
So I attack first phase.
Yep.
Oh, it's barrier. Okay, so they're playing the Pyro Liz, probably.
Yep.
I played the Kindly Grandmother.
Yeah.
Right, I mean, it makes sense that they would set up barrier now because they know we have Flare in the deck as well, right?
It could be that they want to Blizzard, set up...
Blizzard set up FS? It's not possible, though.
We're gonna end this game on turn 9. It's the goal, boys.
They can...
they don't have the sheep, right? So they can't kill the red.
Yeah.
Because they would definitely sheep the high.
And if they sheep it at this point, it's like we're dropping the rag follow-up.
I still like Inkmaster.
Oh yeah, Inkmaster Fire Lens, but like the point is that she buys you time for the Kazakus. We don't have to worry about value in the hand anymore.
Turn 8 is going to be such a good Volcanic potion. That's Kazakus' turn too, because Volcanic's going to set up so well after this turn.
Which one do I hit? The 3/2 or the 6/4?
I think I hit a high main because high main can trade for a 5. But I don't know if they trade, it's not good for them, huh? Because you're going to Volcanic next turn. I could see going for a 3/2 here.
Wait. Never mind, just do it.
6/6, nice.
There's some crazy turns going on here. Tempo Storm just looking to get as much value as possible. And Cloud9 trying to just find the way to stay alive.
Going upstairs.
This Ragnaros is big right now. Now, here's the deal. If they don't trade off the high main, Flamestrike can really punish them. I mean, you've heard them talking about the concern of Flamestrike for a very long time now.
I think the Flamestrike comes out there happy because then they just slam Call of the Wild and say go.
Woo!
Get him. Let's see what the pickup is. Forbidden Flame is an answer to the Ragnaros.
I wonder if they just push ever. Man, this is
push
tough.
Damage? There's a Corrupted Healbot on the board.
Well, but for Cloud9, what I'm saying is, like, if you just trade into the high main, you're trading your 6/6 off to reduce 2 power on board. I mean, you could just attack the 6/6 into the Ragnaros, but then the Volcanic Potion's not killing the Savannah high main. Savannah high main needed to die.
This is a tough board state to deal with. I mean, yeah, maybe you just deal with the attack with the 6/6 to the face, deal with the Rag now, and then try and set up a position for you to play the Volcanic Potion the next turn.
The other thing, too, is Healbot runs into the Ragnaros. 6/6 and an 8/8. You hero power the Kindly Grandmother, you Volcanic Potion, you drop Kazakus. Their options are limited, and either way, they're taking a shot from this Savannah high main.
Yeah.
And they don't have time to play Kazakus anymore. So it's Volcanic Potion, and it looks like pass. Oh, geez. They didn't get off Forbidden Flame in time.
And Forbidden Flame is pissed. Look at him.
Wow, that is awkward. And the turn that Tempo Storm just saw, I think they got to know that this is the opportunity for them.
Yeah, it's time to go.
That is very unfortunate.
They're debating on attacking with the bow, but I mean, Tempo Storm has an easy 2-turn lethal setup here with Call of the Wild coming in the next turn, unless Cloud9 picks up... I don't know.
Yeah.
Forgotten Torch is not enough.
Yeah, space in the hand is Forbidden Flame at the moment. but it's just not in the cards here for Cloud9.
They can Forgotten Torch and then Forbidden Flame and try and go for it.
At last, a worthy
Oh, this is Kazakis. Let's listen to Cloud9. Super special Kazakis, listen in.
Gotta be better than the summon.
Frost Nova Doomsayer, man.
Guess.
Yeah, I like summon here now with freeze.
Good job planning on the freeze potion. Not killing Jaime next turn.
Do we ever want to save it for like Flame Strike and just go Barnes here instead?
I think so. Barnes is probably fine.
All right.
Man, do we ever deal with the man?
Trying to think if there's
It's so
any reason
funny
to kill
because
the
he's the
Brain.
free combo pieces on board. Do we have to kill the Bran?
There's actually nothing that punishes us if we don't kill the Brain.
The MC Tech, of course,
MC
punishes it.
punishes us a little bit.
I think that's in this
Really
list.
hard.
Yes.
Wait, do we go? So we go Barnes Animal Companion or what?
Let's just play the Barnes first. I don't think we're playing Companion because Companion doesn't do anything for us, right?
It pushes damage, a lot of damage.
Oh, shit.
Are you joking me? Wait,
Whoa, can we have lethal with Huffer? 6 + 3 is 9 + 6, 15 now.
No, let's play the Companion then, no, for sure.
Yeah, we
Play it though, just still play it.
it's too much damage, man.
Leok.
Push it to the limit.
But I didn't trade here, right? There's no way.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
go
don't
face.
attack with
Don't
the
use bow.
I don't attack with the bow.
No, don't.
Why? Place it to Reno, right?
Plays into Reno. Don't attack.
I mean, we have the. If he has like ooze plus freeze or something, I mean freeze, then we can't Call of the Wild. I mean, if he has freeze plus ooze, we can't kill him because of the bow not attack.
Oh, no rat. So dirty.
Nova stops.
I mean, he could just first Nova here, and then we got punished
It's
super
fine.
hard
That's
for not
such
attacking with the
a
bow.
strong board to deal with.
I mean, I think
No potions
we
left.
could have reasonably killed something here. I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe they didn't have
sick,
construct.
sick!
GG's.
High five, virtual high five.
Good stuff, guys.
Good games.
Gar, you good for an interview?
Hunter did it.
Wow.
3-0
Wow.
to end the series. Nicely done by Tempo Storm. Innovating with the meta, the way the meta has been. People have been getting greedy with their control decks. Tempo Storm says, we're going to take Rexar. We're going to show everybody. Look at that match score. 3 wins with Druid, 3 wins with Hunter. Who needs Warrior? Who needs Shaman? Who needs Rogue? Who needs Warlock? Who needs Mage?
This doesn't even make sense. This is an incredible win for Tempo Storm right here. They being able to pick up the 3 wins with Druid was so key to opening up the Hunter. At that point, Cloud9 was only left with control options. And when that's the case, if you have a control killer, you can run away with the set.
Tempo Storm is a strong, independent team who don't need no Shaman.
That's right.
Or Pirates.
They also got banned away.
It also got banned away.
Yeah.
But Pirates in general, they have done it, and very nicely done by them. That puts them at 2-2 in the standings, which puts them in not great position, but pretty good position moving in past that halfway point after week number 4. So definitely still in the running for a playoff spot. And we actually have an interview ready with one of the players from the winning team. It's Gara from Team Tempo Storm. Hey, man.
Hey, once again.
Hello once again. Yes, indeed. So you guys played the Hunter 3-0 in this series with the Hunter. Walk me through the decision-making leading up to the Trinity Series with the Hunter.
I promised you like 2 weeks ago, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. You did. You lived up to your promise. I'm so happy.
I was like, Hunter's good, man. Some team will play it. Turns out we did it in the end.
Yeah, you guys have sort of been on the forefront of innovation as well, not just with the Hunter, but with other decks. How do you guys prepare for a week of Trinity Series?
Actually, I make a spreadsheet and I go all over the decks. And I mean, the thing is, it's very easy to expect certain decks. You know, people always bring, for example, Reno Log, always bring Murloc Paladin, almost always bring Jade Druid, and then you, can counter decks fairly easy. It's just that some teams are scary, like LG, where they sometimes pick, for example, Tempo Mage. But yeah, a lot of the teams are kind of just bringing the standard decks, then you can just come up with some new stuff, like we did this time with the Hunter. Hunter is just better than Paladin in the matchups. Like, it does better versus Paladin. Like, yeah, Hunter is better versus Paladin than the mirror match, and it seems to be better versus Mage. I think Paladin versus Mage is not a good matchup, and I tested all sorts of Paladin versions. You have to go like Ends of Paladin to counter it, and I think Ends of Paladin is just too greedy and will just lose because of draws. So yeah, I just think overall Hunter is slightly better than Paladin. That's the reason why we played Hunter this time.
You guys' communication seemed to be really on point today, and there was a lot of discussion taking place. How much familiarity did the three of you get with this Hunter build, given a limited amount of time to practice?
I think Hunter is actually one of the easiest decks to play because it's mostly just playing curve. I think the most interesting part is to build the deck. Like, we build all the decks always together, and we discuss every single card we put in the deck. And like, we really discuss it a lot. Like, do we want to run one tracking, or do we want to run two trackings? Do we want to put in one flare? Do we want to put in two deadly shots? I think this is like the most important thing. Playing the game actually is fairly easy compared to building the decks, I think. I think we go also along really well. And we actually today, what we did is we discussed when we do not talk, like in difficult turns, it's better to actually, the player that leads the class, to let him think. And like those long turns, like the auctioneer cycle turns. Yeah, but yeah, we want to focus on just pointing out things that the opponent could have, which the piloting player might not think about. And yeah, just improving the communication. I think our communication was much worse like last week than this week, so I like how things are going.
Yeah, definitely seems to be working out for you guys. And final question, you guys are smack dab in the middle of the standings now with a 2-2 record. How do you feel moving forward in the weeks coming for Trinity Series as we get closer to playoffs?
Now much better. If we would have lost today, I think this would be really demotivating, because then you feel so pressured going into every week. You feel like you have to win now every week, and now we are like kind of in the middle field, and now you kind of have to wait and see how other teams are doing. And I really like to see when other teams like that are 3-0, that when they're losing, then you always feel like, yeah, we have always a chance to catch up. Yeah, it's definitely much better now. 1-2 was kind of like a very scary score.
Yeah, well, you guys overcame and managed to take a win this week. So I look forward to seeing what you guys are going to come up with your decks next week. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, man.
All right, Tempo Storm, 2-2 now. Like I said, smack down in the middle of the standings. Pretty good spot for them. A couple more wins and smooth sailing to the playoffs.
Yeah, just it all relies on the technology they've been building forth. I think their brewing really paid off this week. And as you heard Gara mention it, they're a team that functions on building those decks. To them, that's the hardest part of the game.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the standings.